Ladies and gentlemen, there is a silent saboteur that lives in the heart of your daily life. It is not your job, it is not your boss, it is not your past, nor your pain, it is your words, yes, your own words. The words you speak hold power, they are seeds. Each one, when planted, grows into something, a belief, a habit, a destiny. You say, I'm tired, and your body listens. You say, I can't do this, and your mind shuts down the engines. You say, I'm not good enough, and your future dims just a little more. Words are not mere sounds. They are commands to the subconscious, and your subconscious does not argue, it obeys. Every time you say something weak, you become a little weaker. Every time you speak defeat, defeat wraps its arms around you, and every time you speak fear, fear takes root in your soul. Listen carefully. The strongest chains are not around your wrists, they're in your mouth. The man who says, I'm stuck, has just poured cement on his own feet. The woman who says, it's too late, has just locked her own door. But what if you chose your words as a warrior chooses his weapons? What if you spoke only what builds, not what breaks? Say, I will figure it out, and your mind awakens. Say, this is hard, but I'm harder, and your heart beats faster. Say, I was born to rise, and your spirit begins to lift. You must stop using your voice to curse your own name. You must stop calling yourself weak, broken, unlucky, cursed. You are none of these things. You are the master of your fate, and your fate listens to your lips. The man who masters his speech masters his life, because what you speak you believe. What you believe you act on, and what you act on you become. Words shape character. Character shapes destiny. If you want power, then speak power. If you want change, then speak change. If you want freedom, then speak freedom. When you open your mouth, speak only what you want to invite into your life, because every word is a door to weakness or a door to strength. So I ask you today, what world are you building with your words? What future are you shaping with your tongue? Stop weakening yourself, speak life, speak strength, speak purpose, and watch how the world begins to shift in your favor. The world does not change when you complain. The world changes when you command it with the voice of conviction, the voice of belief, the voice of strength, and that voice, my friend, is already inside you. Waiting, now speak. There is a force, subtle in nature yet mighty in consequence, that governs the course of every man's life. It is not fortune, it is not fate, it is not the favor of others, it is the power of your own spoken word. What you speak you shape. The words that leave your lips do not vanish into the air, they go to work. They take root in your subconscious mind, where they become the foundation upon which your thoughts are built. And thoughts, when repeated, become belief. Belief becomes behavior. Behavior becomes habit. Habit becomes character. And character, without fail, becomes destiny. Most people do not understand the weight of their own voice. They speak idly, carelessly, without the slightest regard for the law they are invoking with each word. A man says, I'm just not lucky. And with that phrase alone, he instructs the infinite intelligence within him to seek misfortune. Another says, I always fail at this. And without realizing it, he gives failure a permanent place at his table. Let no man deceive himself into thinking that words are neutral. There is no neutral speech. Every word is either planting or plucking. It is either building or breaking, and the most dangerous words are not those spoken to others, but those whispered to yourself in moments of doubt. When you say, I can't, your mind shuts the door to all possibility. When you say, I'm not good enough, your subconscious responds, very well, I shall make it so. When you say, it's too hard, your spirit slumps in agreement and your effort fades into dust. But the reverse is also true. Speak with courage, and your heart will catch fire. Say, I will find a way, and the universe itself bends to show you one. Say, I was born to overcome, and the cells in your body begin to align with strength. Speak faith, and your doubts will die of starvation. It is not magic, it is law. The spoken word is the gateway to the inner world, and the inner world governs the outer one. Before a man ever changes his circumstances, he must change his language. He must become vigilant, a guardian at the gates of his mouth, refusing to utter weakness, defeat, or fear. To speak is to shape. Every sentence you allow to escape your mouth is a declaration. You are either declaring war on your potential or declaring war on your excuses. You are either reinforcing failure or reinforcing belief. Look back at your life and trace the words you've repeated the most. You will find that your current life is a reflection of those words. Your words became your world. Therefore, choose them with care, speak with intention, speak with purpose, speak with the conviction of one who knows that the future is listening, because it is. Every time you speak in weakness, you give weakness authority over your life. Every time you say, "I'm tired," "I can't," or "this is too much," you are not merely describing a moment. You are commanding your body and mind to surrender, and they will obey. Most people have no idea they are poisoning their own potential with their own language. They think their words are harmless. They believe that saying, "I'm overwhelmed," or "I'm not built for this," is just being honest. But let the truth be known. Those words are not honest. They are declarations of defeat, and every time you repeat them, you etch weakness deeper into the structure of your being. Your mind is listening. Your subconscious is always awake, always alert, always recording, and it cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined, between a lie and the truth. It simply accepts what it hears most often. If you speak as a victim, your mind will fashion your world accordingly. If you speak as the weak, the world will respond by handing you more burdens you claim you cannot bear. The man who constantly says, "I'm too old," becomes older by the hour. The woman who repeats, "I'm not smart enough," trains her mind to shut down when challenge arises. The student who says, "I always mess up," is setting a trap he will fall into again and again, not because of lack of talent, but because of habitual weakness in speech. What you say, you strengthen, and what you strengthen, you become. Let that truth burn into your mind. Weak words build a weak life. Words are like bricks, and every sentence you speak is either laying down a foundation of power or erecting a prison around your dreams. You cannot build strength on a vocabulary of surrender. So you must guard your mouth as a warrior guards his sword. Every word must be deliberate. Every phrase must serve your mission. If it does not build you, bury it. If it does not lift you, lose it. If it does not align with the life you are creating, then it has no place in your speech. Understand this. Weak language is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. But it must be replaced with its opposite. Instead of "I can't," say "I will learn." Instead of "I'm tired," say "I will recover and keep going." Instead of "This is too much," say "This is testing me, and I will rise." Your words must become a rallying cry, not a resignation letter. Speak not as you feel in the moment, but as the person you are becoming. The voice you use today must echo the strength of the life you desire tomorrow. If you wish to stand tall, then speak tall. If you wish to win, then speak like a winner, even when the odds are against you. Especially when the odds are against you, because that is when your words matter most. The mind is a servant. It takes orders. It does not argue. It does not negotiate. It does not question the source. It simply receives and obeys. And your words are the orders it follows. Every time you speak, you are issuing commands to your subconscious mind. That is not poetic language. It is law. The words you use become the blueprint your mind begins to build upon. Whether those words are spoken in fear or in faith, in defeat or in victory, they are received the same way, without resistance. Your mind says, "As you wish," and sets to work manifesting the picture you have just painted with your tongue. This is how you have programmed yourself since the day you learned to speak, and this is how, without knowing it, many have built a prison of their own making, brick by brick, word by word, day after day. A man who says, "I'm always behind," is not stating a fact, he's creating a pattern. A woman who declares, "I can't seem to get ahead," is not describing her condition, she's reinforcing her identity. The child who says, "I'm just not good at this," is not expressing a moment of difficulty. He's engraving a limitation into his future. Understand this: the subconscious mind is the soil, your words are the seeds, and it does not care what kind of seeds you plant. It will grow whatever you feed it, whether it's weeds or wheat, thorns or fruit. The tragedy is that most people speak defeat and disappointment over their lives daily, then curse their circumstances, never realizing they spoke them into existence. But there is a remedy, and it begins with awareness. You must begin to listen to yourself, not casually, but as a commander listens to the orders he gives. You must ask, what am I instructing my mind to believe? What am I telling my spirit to accept as reality? And once you discover the harmful phrases that have taken root in your life, you must uproot them, one by one. You must replace them, not with flattery or empty positivity, but with words that align with the person you are determined to become. Say, I am learning. Say, I am becoming stronger. Say, this may be difficult, but I am greater than my difficulty. Speak like a person who is headed somewhere. Speak like a person who refuses to let temporary emotion rewrite eternal truth. Speak like someone who knows that their mind is not a storage unit for complaints, but a workshop for creation. This is not delusion, it is discipline. It is the deliberate act of becoming the master of your own inner world, so that you may influence the outer one. Never forget, what you say, you eventually believe. What you believe, you act on, and what you act on, you become. So speak with intention, because your mind is always listening, and it's building your life exactly as you instruct it. The most powerful prisons are not built with bars of steel or locks of iron. They are built with words, quiet words, casual phrases, repeated over time until they become walls too high to climb and doors that won't open. The man who says, I'm stuck, believes he is merely describing his current state, but in truth he is pouring concrete at his own feet. The woman who sighs, it's too late for me, is not stating a fact. She is writing the closing chapter before the middle has even been lived. These are not observations. They are convictions disguised as conversation, and they are far more dangerous than any enemy from the outside. You see, the enemy on the outside can be resisted. You can outwork him. You can outlast him, but when the enemy is within, when it speaks with your own voice, when it wears the familiar tone of your own thoughts, you will accept its lies as truth, and you will act accordingly. Understand this: weak words create invisible chains. You may not feel them at first. You may say, I'll never be successful, or I don't have what it takes, and shrug it off as harmless self-talk, but those words do not vanish. They echo, they accumulate, and over time they harden into belief. That belief shapes how you think, how you walk, how you respond to challenge, and ultimately it shapes what you allow yourself to pursue. Every time you say something that limits you, you place another bar around your potential, and no one else can remove it but you. Most people live in a prison they built with their own tongue. They blame the world, they blame others, they blame circumstances, never realizing that it was their own voice that shut the gate and threw away the key. But here lies the great truth: the same voice that builds the prison can also tear it down. The same words that limit you can liberate you. It begins when you recognize the chains for what they are. Begin listening closely to what you say when you're frustrated, afraid, or uncertain. That is when the truth of your inner world comes out. And that is where the battle must be fought. You must refuse to let negative speech become permanent language. Refuse to repeat phrases that shrink you. Refuse to participate in your own captivity. Speak not what you fear, but what you intend. Replace I'm stuck with I'm growing. Replace it's too late with my best chapter is still ahead. Speak freedom, and freedom begins to form, because in the end it is not your conditions that hold you back. It is your conclusions. It is the narrative you've spoken so often that it now feels like truth. Tear it down, build anew, with stronger words, with braver words, with the language of a free man, a free woman, a free soul. The door was never locked. You only spoke as if it were. The man who learns to speak in power begins to walk in power. It is no coincidence. It is a law. The moment you change your language, you shift your direction, because your words are not simply sounds. They are forces. They do not merely express, they create, and when those words are deliberately chosen to empower, they become fuel for your inner fire. Speak strength, and strength answers. Speak persistence, and it rises within you. Speak faith, and fear must retreat. But how few truly understand this. Most people wait to feel confident before they speak confidently. They wait to feel strong before they speak strength. They wait for the momentum to arrive before they use the language of movement. In that, precisely, is why they never move, because words do not follow momentum, words create it. The right words, spoken at the right time, have the power to interrupt a downward spiral. One declaration of purpose can arrest the fall of a man in doubt. One sentence of faith can cancel years of fear. The moment you say, "I will not quit," something inside you agrees. The moment you declare, "I was made for more," something inside you wakes up. You must learn to become your own encourager, your own builder, your own voice of vision when the world around you offers only noise and distraction. Others may doubt you, that is their right, but you must never let their voices drown out your own. You must speak with the authority of one who is destined to rise. Consider this, when the body is tired and the path is steep, what do you say to yourself? For it is in that moment that your words matter most. Do you say, "I can't keep going," or do you say, "One more step, just one more"? The difference is not merely in tone, it is in trajectory. One phrase leads to surrender, the other leads to strength. Do not underestimate the power of a well-timed word, even one spoken in solitude. There is immense power in the whisper, "I'm not finished yet." There is thunder in the quiet phrase, "I will overcome." These are not empty affirmations. They are seeds, and when planted with conviction, they yield the fruit of character. The man who speaks in weakness is building his own wall of resistance. But the man who speaks in resolve breaks through walls others never attempt to climb. So learn to speak the language of those who do not accept defeat. Use words that stir your blood, that lift your head, that realign your vision. Say what the future version of yourself would say, not the version stuck in hesitation, but the version charging forward with purpose. Let your words carry weight. Let them cut through fear like a blade. Let them be bold even when your knees are trembling, because the one who controls his language controls his life. There is a simple, unwavering truth that governs the direction of every life. You will live the words you speak, not by chance, not by accident, but by the law of cause and effect, thought and expression, word and manifestation. Your speech is the architecture of your destiny. It sketches the outlines of your future one sentence at a time. So the question becomes urgent. What are you saying? Most people speak without awareness. They speak to fill silence, to vent emotion, to match the frequency of the crowd. They speak without knowing that each phrase is a seed, and every seed, whether good or bad, produces fruit not immediately. But inevitably, you do not escape the harvest of your words. Speak chaos, and chaos will creep into your days. Speak limitations, and doors will quietly begin to close. Speak bitterness, and your path will grow dark. But speak life, speak growth, speak discipline, speak vision, and you will see your surroundings begin to reflect those very qualities, not because the world changed first, but because you did. The wise man speaks only what he wants to experience. He refuses to lend his voice to things he does not wish to see multiplied. He does not complain because he does not want more reasons to complain. He does not curse his situation because he understands that words of curse make the soil barren. He blesses his work, he blesses his efforts, he blesses his future because he knows it is listening. If you could see the impact of a single sentence, how it ripples through your subconscious, alters your perception, and influences your next decision. You would become far more selective with the phrases you allow to live in your mouth. You would begin to understand that words are not just descriptions of life, they are declarations to it. That is why you must never speak what you do not want to endure, never say, "I'll never make it," unless you're ready to never make it. Never say, "Nothing ever works for me," unless you want that prophecy fulfilled. Instead, speak only what builds, speak only what lifts, speak what aligns with your vision, not your momentary emotion. Say, "I am capable," say, "I am disciplined," say, "My time is coming and I will be ready." Let every word be a tool, not a trap, a bridge, not a barrier. Use your voice as an instrument of progress, not a weapon of self-destruction. Because every time you speak, you are either reinforcing your dreams or reinforcing your doubts. You may not control every event, every person, every obstacle in your path, but you do control what you speak about them. And that control is enough to change everything. Speak as one who understands the power he carries. Speak as though your life depends on it, because it does.